Greetings, loved ones. Welcome back to another episode of Healing Wisdom with me, Empress Oracle, your favorite spiritual advisor. How y'all doing? That's good. On behalf of Starseed Galactic Federation, I have been given this knowledgeable information from my Akashic records for the purpose of helping humanity. This information is given directly to me as a divine channel, and any use or reproduction of this information without proper accreditation or acknowledgement from where this information was received, i.e. me, will result in instant karma for the plagiarizing parties or individual. And so it is. Now that we got that out the way, I was totally gonna say and talk about something totally different. But as I was doing my makeup, Spirit said that I should talk to you guys about settling because you feel as though time is running out. So I don't know who needs to hear that message, but sis or bro, this one is for you, okay? So I know a lot of people are seeing people who are, finally finding love. Everybody's settling down. Now we're in the age, back in the day, it used to be a kind of a trend for people to be single, to ever be the eligible bachelor and whatnot. And that, in a way, was a stereotype that was ingrained into a lot of minorities. Because I know, per se, in the African American community, a lot of times, it's looked upon to be cool to be the player or whatever. You see what I'm saying? It's looked upon to have a lot of hoes and whatever you want to call it. It was looked upon, you look like the man. It's kind of like a badge of honor for a male or whatever, another notch on the belt that makes them look good and it strokes their ego. And also for females too, there are a lot of females who are raised that way as well. Whether they grew up around a lot of men, whether they grew up around females who are used to getting taken care of, or whether they grew up seeing their parents struggling or in a single parent household and they're like, you know what, I don't want to live like that. I need to have a guy for electricity, a guy for gas, a guy for water, ETYZ, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't matter. But either way it goes, what I'm trying to say is a lot of times we were taught to, live our life, live young, especially the males or masculine energy people, because I will say, I have a masculine energy. Although I'm a female, I look very feminine. I have a lot of masculine energy as well. I'm an Aries, that's a masculine sign. So I can say, especially a lot of Aries women tend to looked upon as in people think that they're players and whatnot. And we're not players. We just crush a lot. No, but for real, seriously though. But nowadays, a lot of people are realizing that was one of the social conditionings that was preconditioned in us in order to sabotage unions that are very, very important in order to progress, in order to have power couples, and in order to start the new world order, basically the new rave where you see couples being successful, especially melanated couples, especially people of color coming together, forming unity, right? Having true love and being happy. So now a lot of people are like, you know what? I'm realizing being in these streets is not really where it's at. It's not really where it's at. So now they want to settle down. But a lot of times, a lot of people have burned their bridges. So therefore, they feel as though the pickings are really slim. Or a lot of people tend to not realize, right, that the wheel is starting to turn a little bit slower. So it may be time for them to settle down, rest their laurels, right? So a lot of people are looking around, and because they might be in the wrong geographical location for what necessarily may be suitable for them, just because they don't want to be alone, they will go ahead and settle and be with somebody who they know they cannot grow with, who they know does not truly satisfy them, who they know is not who they're really supposed to be with. And sometimes people feel as though they don't know who they're really supposed to be with, but they would rather settle and be with somebody than to be alone, because God forbid they feel as though life is going to pass them by and they're going to die alone. Well, you know what? If you feel that way, then you are going to die alone, Susan. You are. I'm just saying, whatever you think, whatever you believe, that's what becomes your reality. But you have to have standards, right? It's a reason why we have these large dreams. It's a reason why we have these goals and these aspirations for better. And if you know that the people that are around you or the person that you're with does not fit into your dream or your goal, and I'm not even talking about being shallow. I'm not even talking about on a superficial or a surface level, because looks fade. What I'm saying is, if you are not around people that you can grow with, if when you plant seeds with certain people in certain environments, those plants wither and die, or nothing grows, or you find that the soil is not fertile, then you need to know when to pick and choose your battles, wave the white flag in that relationship, and walk away. Go ahead and voyage further, because better will come to you. The misconception that a lot of people have is that they truly have slim pickings of what is around them, where they are, right? So they become victims of their environments. They fall victim to their circumstances, and they end up settling, and they're unfulfilled. And then they're bitter in their family, bitter in their relationships. You know, this is a side note, but it's still pertaining to this. Something that I see a lot, and it's being portrayed a lot, especially on TikTok, is there are a lot of video depictions of people who are basically impersonating their mothers or their fathers, and how they act when they come home. And automatically, the whole persona that they're projecting is somebody who's miserable, somebody who's always yelling, somebody who's disgruntled, right? Always fussing. And you know why that is? Because 9 times out of 10, I'm sorry to say, but your mom probably settled and she's not happy where she is. So she's going to be miserable, right? A lot of times, and that's where you end up in those toxic environments, where you end up in a narcissistic relationship between a mother and a daughter, or you end up in a toxic relationship between a parent and a child, because that parent probably just settled. Right? And I'm not saying that they don't love you, but what I'm saying is they were not happy with the way that things progressed, because they did not let nature take its course. They didn't get a chance to fulfill all the things that they wanted to do before they decided to put the cart before the horse and settle down and be married or in a relationship just to say that they have one. And so now they're bitter and they're angry after they come home from an unfulfilling job, right? They're upset because they had to toil all these hours doing something they really have no passion for. Then they come home to a spouse or it's insignificant other, is what I'm going to say, who's not pulling their weight, their end of the bargain. A lot of people say a relationship is supposed to be 50-50, and that's why they're always lacking in relationships. A relationship is supposed to be 100-100. So if you settle with somebody who's not giving you everything you're giving to them, you're always going to be at a loss. And that bitterness is going to seep over into every aspect of your life. That's why so many females resent their children, because they settled with a guy because they wanted to be with this guy, or they thought a baby was going to keep the guy or something. And I'm sorry, don't come for me, y'all, but a lot of females do that. And I'm not one of them, but I'm just saying, okay? Don't come for me. If it doesn't apply to you, don't take it personally. Thank you. So a lot of them end up being bitter, and therefore they have resentments towards the children, and they may lash out. God forbid you carry any traits or personality characteristics, whatever the hell you want to call it, of the person that they settled for, who probably turned around and either left them or just making their life hell because they settled, right? Then they're going to take it out on you as well, the child. So that's why it's very important for you not to settle. A lot of us, we don't want to end up like our parents, but the main way to not end up like your parents is to not settle, because a lot of our parents did settle, unfortunately. And that is because, I'm not saying that's because of them personally, so please don't shoot me. What I'm saying is a lot of our parents did settle because that's what they were used to. They might have thought that they couldn't get any better. They may have felt trapped in their environment. A lot of times, especially back in the day, if you had a child, you don't want to do it alone. It was harder for females to attempt to do it alone. So a lot of them settled. And now they're miserable because of it, right? And then that's what's eating up the family. That's what's eating up people. What we have to understand is the lifespan of the human race has significantly shortened because people are not taking care of themselves. People are turning towards more processed items, more artificial items with chemicals and stuff that are shortening the lifespan of people. However, back in the day, right? BC times, before Christ, all of that. People were living to well, ripe, old, and long ages because they relied more on the earth. They were more natural, right? There was more talent, more crafts. That's why you have so many relics from the past, because people, they took the time to figure out what was really their passions. They poured that into not just another person, but they poured that into their craft, whether it was jewelry making, whether it was, leathermanship. I don't even know if that's a damn thing, but you know what the fuck I mean, right? Whether it was being a cobbler or a farmer, whatever it was, they put all of that into their craft. They reaped from the earth. They benefited from their other natural talents. And that is how they ended up attracting their tribe, people like them, and a proper and suitable mate. So don't feel rushed. Don't feel rushed. Just because people tell you that you're behind the power curve, I'm going to tell you right now, one thing that I have found out, if you are still single and you are over the age of 30 to 35, you are single because there are still things that you have to learn about yourself, and there are still other things that you need to accomplish before you settle down, so that you don't end up settling and selling yourself short. And I just saw 11:11 when I was saying that. Somebody hear me now, okay? Because if you are not ripe and ready, you may get with somebody who is already fully bloomed, and then you will feel stagnant and stuck. So look at it as a blessing in disguise and focus on yourself. Focus on being your best self, and then your proper mate will find you. Okay? Okay? Okay. Now, I hope you guys were really understanding what I was saying. And I hope that I really didn't offend anybody, because everything that I say is from a place of love. And if you are unsure of who you really are and you need some guidance, make sure you check out my Etsy shop, Empress Oracle Shop. There I have all kinds of crystal jewelry. I have body butters, oils, everything that can help you to focus. It can help you to stimulate your brain, to become more creative, to ground yourself, to focus, to find inner peace and balance, so you can find who you truly are, so that who's truly supposed to be with you can find you. I also have oils to attract love, butters to attract love, and to enhance self-love. I don't know what you guys waiting on. Y'all tripping, y'all play too much. You see my rap? Check me out, Empress Oracle Shop. And also, I want to say thank you to everybody who received this message, because it is coming from a place of love. I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes that I done made. I'm old as hell, and I could have got caught up plenty of times settling for people who I knew I couldn't grow with. But I always knew better. And you know what? I had to find it out the hard way many a times. So let me save a lot of you guys that heartache and pain, okay? And don't settle. Take your time. The right person, they will find you. With that being said, enjoy your day, and I love you all.